You won't believe this. Because when the world saw Leonardo DiCaprio, they saw a golden boy, a heartthrob, the man every actress in Hollywood secretly wanted. But behind the flashing cameras, behind the carefully staged romances, Leo made choices that would come back to haunt him. Choices where he turned away from women who could have changed his story forever. He didn't just walk away. He rejected love. He rejected loyalty. And in some cases, he rejected women who later confessed he left scars on their hearts. Some were at the height of their careers. Some were young dreamers caught in his orbit. And a few became legends without him. For years, Leonardo kept silent. He never explained why. He never admitted the regrets that burned in the shadows. Until, at 49, he finally confessed the truth was never as glamorous as the tabloids made it. Because the truth was this: he rejected actresses who loved him, who believed in him, and who expected forever. And when forever never came, some never forgave him. Stay with me until the end. Because when we reach the final name, you won't believe that even Leonardo himself admitted she was the one he should have never let go. Gisele Bündchen. It began with her, the supermodel who ruled runways, but also the woman who gave Leonardo something he wasn't used to: stability. Gisele Bündchen stood beside him for 5 long years. She smiled at premieres, cheered at his victories, and even endured the whispers that Leonardo would never settle. But Gisele wanted more. She wanted marriage, a family, a life beyond Hollywood nights. And Leonardo? He hesitated. He pulled back when commitment became real. Years later, Gisele admitted she left because she realized she could no longer numb herself with parties, alcohol, and empty promises. She chose peace. She chose a future Leo couldn't give. And what happened after? She married Tom Brady, built a family, and carved a legacy even brighter than before. Meanwhile, Leonardo, at 49, admitted she was the one who showed him what love could look like. And losing her wasn't just a breakup. It was the first regret that still shadows him today. Blake Lively. She was young, golden, and rising faster than anyone in Hollywood. Blake Lively stepped into Leonardo's world like a burst of light. They traveled Europe. They laughed on yachts. The tabloids called them unstoppable. But behind the photos, something darker played out. Blake wanted something real. She wanted to move past the glitz and discover who Leonardo truly was. And Leo? He kept the walls up. He gave her the same cycle romance, fun, but no future. So Blake walked away. Not bitter, not broken, but stronger. Because soon after she found Ryan Reynolds, a man who gave her what Leo never could: family, loyalty, and permanence. When Leo spoke about her years later, he admitted he underestimated her. She wasn't just another actress in his chapter. She was a woman who could have been the one. But when he rejected that chance, he set her free, and in doing so, lost her forever. Bar Refaeli. Then came Bar Refaeli, the Israeli supermodel who captured his attention like no other. Their romance lasted on and off for 6 years, the longest relationship of his life. But 6 years was still not enough. Because every time the world expected a ring, Leonardo gave silence. Every time Bar gave her youth, Leo gave distance. She once admitted it took her years to rebuild herself after him. She wanted love, but Leo wasn't capable of giving the future she dreamed. Today, Bar is married, a mother, and far away from the man who once made headlines with her. But Leonardo, he admitted her name among the regrets. Because no matter how far he runs, he knows he let go of the woman who waited the longest, only to be rejected in the end. Kristen Zhang. Before Titanic made him untouchable, Leonardo was just a young actor in love. And Kristen Zhang was the woman by his side. She wasn't chasing fame. She wasn't blinded by his rising stardom. She simply loved him. But Leonardo's career exploded. He became the face of a generation. And with fame came distance. He left Kristen behind, believing he could have the world and never look back. Decades later, Kristen admitted she was glad she left when she did. But for Leonardo, it was a silent scar. Because Before all the chaos, before the fame, Kristen was the pure love he rejected when he chose Hollywood over her. Rihanna. Yes, even Rihanna. For a brief moment, their worlds collided, two icons who could have been unstoppable. But Leonardo never let it grow. He kept her as a spark, never the fire she could have been. Rihanna moved on. She built an empire, found love with $AP Rocky, and became untouchable. When asked about her, Leo stayed silent, but those close to him whispered he regretted letting her go. Now, one name that shocked everyone was Rihanna. But here's the catch: this was never confirmed. The world saw the photos, the parties, the whispers. But officially, it always stayed just a rumor. Camilla Morrone. She was the most controversial. Because Camilla Morrone was decades younger, and for years people whispered about their romance. But despite the age gap, she gave him something few others did: loyalty. She stayed by his side even when the world mocked their relationship. For 5 years, she believed he would finally settle. She defended him, loved him, and waited. And then, just as she turned 25, it ended. Critics called it predictable. The same story again. Another actress rejected it when she asked for more. But Camilla's silence afterwards spoke louder than any interview. She moved forward, built her career, and left Leonardo with the regret of knowing she was the one who stayed through the storm, until he pushed her away. Naomi Campbell. Few remember this. But long before the others, Naomi Campbell was there. The supermodel who redefined beauty, who had the world at her feet, shared a spark with Leonardo. But Leo dismissed it. He treated it lightly, as if she was just another chapter. And Naomi? She didn't chase. She moved on. Today they remain friends. But whispers in Hollywood always returned to this. Leonardo admitted Naomi was too powerful, too brilliant, too much for him to handle. And rejecting her wasn't just a missed romance, it was a Eva Herzegovina, the secret romance. Eva Herzegovina, the Czech supermodel, once stood in the shadows of Leo's world. They met at parties, shared late nights, but never went public. Why? Because Leonardo never allowed it. He rejected the idea of making her official. And for Eva, that was enough. She walked away. Years later, she admitted she was glad she did. But for Leo, it was another hidden regret. Because sometimes the ones we keep secret are the ones we wish we could have had the courage to love openly. And so, here we are. At 49, Leonardo DiCaprio, the man who seemed untouchable, who had everything, finally admitted the truth. He rejected them, one by one. Women who gave him loyalty, love, and second chances. Women who later found happiness without him. Some became mothers, some became legends, and some never looked back. But Leonardo, he remains in the same cycle, older now, still single, still chasing what he once pushed away. And when asked about regrets, he doesn't name roles, awards, or films. He names women. He names the ones he rejected. So the question remains: was Leonardo DiCaprio's greatest mistake rejecting the love of these women? Or was it never truly believing that he deserved it?